Hi, today we're doing something different in that we've got a double bill. We've got Sharon Garner, who recently finished second in our song showcase with her song Ballantoy Harbour, and Sharon comes from the East Riding of Yorkshire, in a little village just outside Hull. Our other guest is Sara Yeo, singer-songwriter from Exeter in Devon, and most of her songs are rich, mellow arrangements, silky smooth but still powerful enough to deliver some edge to the emotions.
I got no baggage on me, nothing to declare, nothing weighing me down. No baggage on me, nothing to declare, nothing weighing me down. No getting back, I've been off the track so many times before. But it's made me who I am, that is what I'm very thankful for. All the ups and downs and turnarounds, all the to's and fro's and highs and lows I've had. As I leave tonight, I'm traveling light, I'm feeling bad. I got no baggage on me, nothing to declare, nothing weighing me down. No baggage on me, nothing to declare, nothing weighing me down. Is this freedom? As free as how I feel. Is this freedom? And I leave tonight, I'm traveling light, I'm feeling bad. I got no baggage on me, nothing to declare, nothing weighing me down. No baggage on me, nothing to declare, nothing weighing me down. No baggage on me, nothing to declare, nothing weighing me down. No baggage on me, standing at the carousel, just waiting to be found. No baggage on me. It's just a lot of my songs just kind of appear, and I'm not really quite sure how they appear. Sometimes they kind of, it's maybe just a feeling I have. It comes out of a feeling rather than, and that particular one I think just came out of realizing that I felt free and I felt okay, and after a period of not feeling quite so good. So I think it just, I don't know, it's weird with songs, isn't it, Sharon? They just kind of, sometimes they pop out, sometimes you have to work at them. It's just a kind of ongoing, you're never quite sure where they're going to come from.
Now, Sharon, Ballantoy Harbour, which finished second in our showcase, we know the inspiration was a village near where you were brought up. Why did you decide to write that song?
It came about because I'm on a Facebook group called Ireland Before You Die, which and it's sort of trying to promote, because Ireland is such a beautiful place, the whole of Ireland, you know, north and south, and so they're trying to promote all these places for you to go. And one day up popped Ballantoy Harbour, but they were promoting it as one of the places that Game of Thrones filmed. And actually on the photo was one of these big sort of, I don't know, you know, when you go to sort of like a nature reserve and there's a big board and it will tell you all the birds you can see and the flowers that you might find there. Well, there was this big board and it had all the Game of Thrones characters that had filmed in this setting. I watched Game of Thrones and thoroughly enjoyed it, but my reaction there was, but that's not Ballantoy Harbour. Ballantoy Harbour is how I remember Ballantoy Harbour. It's nothing to do with Game of Thrones, and it is such a special place for my family and I. And you know, my mum learned to swim in the harbour. My dad, you know, he was a Coleraine guy, and he and his family would have gone and holidayed at Ballantoy Harbour. So it just prompted me, and then all the memories came. And really, I think, you know, like you were saying, Sarah, it's almost like the song wrote itself. It just sort of poured out. And Ireland got hold of it. So somehow Ireland got hold of the competition. And so it was the song was being shared around Northern Ireland, and it even got sent to the vicar of the Pretty White Church, who sent me a message. So that for me was great, because I just wanted the song to reach home, and it did. So that I was thrilled, absolutely thrilled.
There's a special place in my memory, down a steep and narrow road, between the tall cliff tops and the feral sea, where the child in my dreams still goes. Been a lifetime away since those carefree days, and so many since had to leave. And although I'm so far from my heritage, it'll always be part of me. An ice cream to have by the harbor wall, and a hand to hold in case I should fall. A pretty white church I can just recall. I wonder, have I remembered it all? But there's one thing I'm sure of, one thing that's real. I'll never forget how this place makes me feel, and how I long one day to see if Ballantoy Harbour might still remember me. And I go back to those caves where we used to play, and the game always the same. We take turns about making foolish sounds, then we'd laugh at the echoes that came. And I'll forever hold dear all the hours spent here. And if ever I'm feeling low, in my mind I just stroll down that narrow road to those memories of years ago. And an ice cream to have by the harbor wall, and a hand to hold in case I should fall. A pretty white church I can just recall. I wonder, have I remembered it all? But there's one thing I'm sure of, one thing that's real. I'll never forget how this place makes me feel, and how I long one day to see if Ballantoy Harbour might still remember me. 'Cause although time can't stand still and those echoes long gone, they'll always be here where those moments live on. Like the ice creams we had by the harbor wall, and the hands we held place we should fall. The pretty white church I can't just recall. I wonder, have I remembered it all? But there's one thing I'm sure of, one thing that's real. I'll never forget how this place makes me feel, and how I long one day to see. Yes, I long for it to be. How I long one day to see if Ballantoy Harbour might still remember me.
Both of you are independent artists. How do you go about getting your music out there? And I'll start with Sarah to answer that one.
Wow, I mean, it's an ongoing battle, really. First of all, obviously, the primary sources for me is CDs, just, selling them at gigs. But that's dwindling a hell of a lot now. So just, trying to get them onto Spotify playlists and things like that, which is so hard. It's just, nobody seems to want to know you when you're not known. It's just really hard to get your name out there, and unless you're going to pay for things, and pay for likes and pay for Spotify plays and things, there's no way of getting in there organically. It's kind of, for me, it's, it's not, it doesn't really work. It's kind of an ongoing, just, you sometimes feel like, why am I bothering, because it's so hard. That's what I feel like anyway.
Oh, what do you find, Sharon?
Oh, no, that's a COVID thing to say, I think.
Oh, I've had a great year this year. I've had a really great year, but as far as getting your music out there, it's still really hard. This year's been brilliant for a lot of things. I've met a lot of people, and I've done some recording. I've learned how to do things, but just people just getting it to other people's ears. I don't know what you feel, Sharon. It's just getting it out there. It's so difficult.
Yeah, I think I feel like I'm still very much at the beginning of my journey with that, really. I've only really just did my first album back end of last year. So I'm very much still on the learning curve of who to network with, and I certainly don't think you can do it by yourself. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I'm sure you're the same, Sarah, where there's lots of amazing community radios that will give you a play. Guys such as yourself, interviewing. But yeah, I don't think there's any one way, really. It's just every opportunity that you see, whether it's on social media or you just have to go for it, and it is hard. It's almost like a daily thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's where we've been lucky, because we're all retired, so we've got more time. Whereas I guess both of you are still trying to earn a living doing other things. Where the music's, because you teach, Sharon, don't you?
I teach music, so I've very much, music is very much my career. And as I say, the singing and the songwriting is something that was actually, I felt like was going to take off this year in the way I thought it was going to. And then obviously things, there was a turn of events, but in some ways the positive thing is I was able to have the time. I did have the time, and I was able to get more recordings done and liaise with people, because everybody was online at that point. So that was the way forward. So in terms of a positive that's come out of this year is that, really.
You've both been talking about releasing CDs. Why is a CD worth anything in this brave new digital world?
I don't know, but I still like to buy a CD, and I'm just going by my personal preference, because the people that I really love, I've got a lot of artists that I really, really enjoy to go and see, and I will always collect their CDs. But I won't just willy-nilly go and buy CDs anymore, I must admit. Or I used to just go to HMV and just pick up a lot of CDs and just randomly, but I won't do that anymore. But I just feel that it's nice to have something to hold for what you've paid for. it's you know, if you're gonna I'm very old-fashioned in a lot of things, and you know, I don't want to see the end of spending cash, so I'll spend cash everywhere. I'm very old-fashioned. So as much as I try and get my own music on Spotify, I'm not one to listen to Spotify myself. I'm quite, I download it and pay for it. I don't like to get it for free. I kind of want to purchase it.
It's interesting actually, because I thought really the future is it's all digital, and when I did the album, I got quite a few printed and have been lucky enough to sell them. And I've done a digital copy now on Bandcamp. But my single, I decided I was just going to go digital because that's what you do. But I had so many people say, when are you gonna have a hard copy? Because I'd really like a hard copy. I don't do these download things. So I think there's still a market for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's I like a CD.
Yeah,
and I like getting the booklet and reading through and
yeah, exactly. You really miss out on that, don't you, online? It's just you know, that's the good bit, is opening it up and seeing what's inside. And
I mean, I still love vinyl. I mean, I've got vinyl that I'll still play. I just think there's a sound on vinyl that you just don't get anywhere else, and I absolutely love it. But maybe that's just complete nostalgia.
I've never been into vinyl myself, but I can appreciate it with just liking to put on CD now and then, you know, especially in the car, because I've got an old-fashioned, an older van, and it hasn't got anything. It's just got a CD player, so I still put in the CDs into the van on a journey.
I don't like to say anything too loud here, but my car hasn't got that. It's got a tape player.
Oh, it's got a tape player.
Oh, no.
And I use it.
Good. It doesn't chew them up then.
I beg your pardon?
It doesn't chew the tapes up.
No.
I don't tend to buy CDs now because I usually find I like 4 tracks off a CD. So now I'll download those onto my phone and I play so I can get all the tracks I really like from different artists. And I play those. I'm a miserable.
It's too technical, John. Too technical.
But you might miss out on those songs that are the growers. You know, that you don't like to start with, and then the more you play a CD, they get, and they end up being your favourite song.
Yeah, I call that the side 2 track 4 syndrome, the one you don't like and then you do like. But listen, wouldn't you agree that 80% of listening these days to music is done in cars?
Oh yeah, that is the one big thing about this year, not driving to gigs. I've so missed putting on that new CD, and I love Ashley McBride, and I really wanted to listen to it first time in the car, you know, in the sunshine, driving to a gig, but I just had to listen to it on, you know, on my earphones in the end.
What does it matter if I prefer acoustic guitars to electric ones? What does it matter if I'm not keen on TV talent shows or Tarantino? You told me I should write a book about all the things I hate, but the truth is, the stuff I love, it far outweighs. It's not gonna change, so let's concentrate on all the things that make us great. Who gives a damn if I don't like all the music that you play? Oh, but I'd have grown, I'm getting to like yellow now anyway. It's not gonna change. Let's concentrate on all the things that make us great. What does it matter anyway? What does it matter anyway? What does it matter? It's not a deal breaker. Let's concentrate on all the things that make us great. it's true. We're so different, me and you. Maybe we complement each other. What does it matter? What does it matter anyway? What does it matter anyway? What does it matter? It's not a deal breaker. A deal breaker. Let's concentrate on all the things that make us great. What does it matter? What does it matter?
Sarah, I watched you do an in-session thing this afternoon. What kind of reach does that get? Incidentally, I also know from it that you were kind of secretly in love with Gary Barlow when you were little.
Yes,
That's a thing to throw there.
it is, and I can't quite remember where you saw that from now. Where did you do that to? I can't think.
I couldn't possibly tell you, Sarah. I was mainly listening to your songs, but I thought
That was on my YouTube, was it? Was it on my YouTube?
it was on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, in session. That was the thing I did a few years back. I've done a few of those sorts of things over the years, and it's nice to do, those sorts of things, but it doesn't really increase things as much as you hope they would. You sort of think, oh,
Yeah,
I'll do this, I'll get lots of new likes and everything, but it doesn't really work so quick as that. It seems to be such a long haul thing to keep plugging it, and if you get another like from, one more like from a show you did, it's an achievement. It just feels like it's a little bit of an uphill thing sometimes.
Yeah, it's lovely to see though, because you're getting your personality across as well as your songs.
Yeah,
I think that's very important.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Sharon does that, on doing her own videos, but I couldn't find an in-session with Sharon.
A couple of my musician friends and I got together, and we've been doing what we've called secret garden gigs. So which is great. It's getting cold now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really has been, we've all had to just think outside the box, haven't we? And it's not just in our industry. I mean, everybody, has been in the same boat. And in some ways, the challenge it's been a good thing. And like Sarah was saying, I mean, I've learned things. I'm not a techie person at all. And I've really had to up my game in terms of the technology stuff. And I think that's a good thing, because, that is the future, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good thing with both of you is you actually can play the instrument and sing. You're not doing it all synthetically, as we see some musicians do.
Yeah, it's an added bonus if you can play an instrument as well. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm very good at guitar. I accompany myself, and I think that's all you need to do sometimes if you're a singer-songwriter. Just be able to accompany yourself, and not flash or anything like that. I don't know what Sharon's playing sounded lovely the other day when I listened to it. So,
well, I would say the same about yours, Sarah. I wouldn't call myself a guitarist by any stretch. I've got other instruments that I would be more proficient on, but guitar is just so portable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would be more proficient really on piano, but it's just the thought of lugging a key, even when you can strap a guitar on your back, and like you say, Sarah, it's just about it's about the song, really, isn't it? And accompanying yourselves.
Beautiful soul, where do you go when your world is sinking low? Do you stumble and climb the walls of your mind looking for answers you cannot find. Shattered and worn, you cannot speak, feeling broken, feeling weak. Body is drained, emotions are strained, struggling to see another day. Look up, not down, ahead, not around. Keep your eye on the horizon. The storm will pass, this war will cease, and you will know the kiss of peace. Look up, not down, ahead, not around. Feels like fire, but you're a diamond. The flames will die, the air will clear, and you will find you're still here. The words that would bind, that try to confine, try to leave you misaligned. Taking space in your head, fight for breath to be said. Try to silence them instead. Look up, not down, ahead, not around. Keep your eye on the horizon. The storm will pass, this war will cease, and you will know the kiss of peace. Look up, not down, ahead, not around. Feels like fire, but you're a diamond. The flames will die, the air will clear, and you will find you're still here. Don't give in, don't let those voices win. Don't look behind or mastermind what might have been. Look up, not down, ahead, not around. Keep your eye on the horizon. The storm will pass, this war will cease, and you will know the kiss of peace. Look up, not down, ahead, not around. Feels like fire, but you're a diamond. The flames will die, the air will clear, and you will find you're still here. You're still here.
But you've both been talking about releasing CDs. What's a CD worth in this brave new world of